Okay. Since it has been an additional week than expected in between sessions, I believe we'll do a quick breakdown of the last session and then jump right in. So, last time we began in the alley. All of you practically caught off guard as the rain of arrows were let loose in your direction. Some of you avoiding outright, but a couple of you unfortunate, particularly Virgil, who was hit twice. As the assassins on the roofs made their escape, the others in the alley made their presence known. Looking to put an end to your investigation, they set upon you. Sorry about that. After an arduous battle, the encounter finally came to an end when Carlos was able to call off the spellcaster that had laid low a number of the party, and convinced him to leave you be, as well as maybe implying that it was all it was over. Right? And so, as the spellcaster kind of made their exit, the rest of you, just quickly, as best as you can, Ezra, Carlos, and everybody kind of jumping into the fray, you were able to pick yourselves up. 3 of you in dire health. You all dragged yourselves over to Desiree's shop, finding it seemingly unbothered. And as you rested and did what you could about patching up your wounds, Carlos ran back to the guardhouse to get some potions to help his injured brother. While there, Carlos, you saw the captain speaking to Vicente Santolaria, the lancer that was there when you were picked up initially. Nothing happened, however, and you were able to get the potions and make your way back. Back at the shop, you'd all healed up just as Carlos returned, giving over the potions to Virgil, who quickly downed them and saw to his wounds as well. So, as you sat and spoke about your path forward, there were, I want to say, very minor disagreements on the next step forward. Everybody laid out everything they had on the table, and it was decided that the following day you would split into 2 groups. The brothers following up on the legal side of things, while the other 3 were to head into the poor district and try to find a line on how and where they could find Octavia Santori and her operations in the city. While speaking, there was a strange moment where Azazel felt like maybe somebody was keeping watch on the store, and upon checking the back entrance, felt comfortable that it was just a bit of paranoia, ensuring the door was locked. And afterwards, you all rested, finding solace and comfort where you could in the apartment above the store until the following morning. And that is where we pick up that following morning. The 4 of you are, well, I'll use 4 because we got 4 people here, but technically there are 5. The 4 of you rested as best as you could until the evening passed, and into the morning. Those of you with wounds, right, that being 3 out of the 4, able to kind of shake off the ills of the previous day and awaken, kind of stretching. And so each one of you, as you woke up, is there anything specific anybody is doing? Because after this, we are 2 groups going 2 separate directions. So, in this moment where there's this last chance, is there anything anybody wants to do or say before we head our opposite ways?
Carlos will turn to Desiree and I to go and pick some up. I don't think I've got quite enough money. Do you know of a pawn shop that will take mundane items or weapons nearby?
Well, I suppose I could do that.
I will carry it. So are you sure you want to be giving your money to Carlos? Because I'm just looking at freeing up a bit of gold to go and buy something.
Well, I mean, how much do you need?
He needs 2 gold.
I could do that. I can give that to you.
Right, so okay, so in character, so you buy my short bow or give me a loan on it?
How about a loan?
Cool.
Alright,
Hand
so then,
over the short bow and the arrows as well, because I'm back for it.
yeah, alright. And then she will put those in a safe case underneath the desk that she uses as her counter, and then hand you 2 gold.
Thank you.
Okay. So with that sorted, let's see. Yeah, with all that sorted, anything else? Because from here on out, we are split up.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
All good.
Okay. All right. So, you have what little breakfast that you're, able to whip up, whatever you've got, desertly, which could be a lot or it could be very little.
Mostly
Either way.
oatmeal.
Mostly oatmeal. There you go. So, yeah, everybody just kind of has just something enough to kind of keep the energy up for what is to come. And so, with the final goodbye, the two groups make their go their separate ways as Desert kind of just ensure the actually sorry as the four of you come down, we're going to say that the apartment is maybe connected to the shop, right? So to leave, you have to kind of exit through the shop.
Like-
So let's get 4 perception checks here real quick as the four of you kind of descend the stairs down into the main shop. And perfect.
I walk out with my eyes closed.
Yeah,
clearly.
perfect way to jump into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yawning, just rubbing the cold out of your eyes, so to speak. Perfect. And then I just need one from Carlos.
I believe he's dead.
Sniper.
Oh, okay. Accidentally unplugged the mic. Perfect. All right.
job.
Wah, wah, wah,
Yeah.
wah.
Here we go.
Perception check.
Here we go. Oh, wait, that's the wrong
Oh my
one.
fucking god.
That's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. There we go.
That was the right one.
Yeah, there we go.
Carlos, we need a perception check.
All right, Carlos. Yeah, perception check. Those fucking soundboards are so good, dude. Oh, no.
Are we all doing perception checks?
Yep.
Yeah, we are.
Yep.
Right.
Just you now.
Yeah.
No pressure, no pressure.
No pressure. Okay,
Oh,
perfect.
nice.
Wow, kind of fitting. So as the four of you come down, Desiree, you know your shop very well. As you come down, looking around, something seems off. You can't quite place it exactly. As you look, you're really trying, you're trying your best, but something feels out of place. So as you look around, yeah, this is, maybe something's been moved.
Yeah, I would think that Desiree would immediately start going around the shop, being poking and making sure everything was where it was.
Okay. Yeah, so kind of move around the shop, right? Keeping a look on everything. I'll say too, Carlos, as you come down, you look around. You're not quite sure. It seems like everything is still in order. Looking around, the number of items that were kind of on display doesn't seem to have changed much. But something about the interior of the shop feels off. It feels like something may have been moved. Jesus. Say something may have been moved or potentially replaced. You look around for a bit, Desiree, as you kind of start to mess with the things, and that is when it hits you. You kind of turn, and the item that was stolen by the thief, or the strange kind of trade situation, right? The customer that had come in and kind of got you to look over an item before kind of rushing out of the store, supposedly taking something. You weren't quite sure what it was in the moment, but you see it now, and it's this pretty mundane, but it is strangely back in its original position. We'll say, it could be an item of your choosing, just like a strange, sort of maybe a box. It's kind of been returned to its rightful place. But it wasn't there last night.
How in the world did you get there? Like, she's actively, now, poking and looking at the box, be like, now do you have properties?
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of mess with it, open it, right? Nothing seems off about it, right? Nothing has changed. Nothing has been harmed on it. It hasn't been, messed up in any ways. It looks as you remember it looking, previous to it, going missing. I would say that the item itself is probably not of import here. The strange thing is how it returned.
I would then, Disorder would then, set down the box and just, go over to her counter and get the thing that, she exchanged with the guy, the thing that he had given her to look at.
Okay.
Before he, and then just hold this thing, look around at it, and just be, and even shake it a couple times, just to figure out, does it do anything?
Fair enough. Yeah, and again, I think previously described as like a type of cylinder almost, with ornate kind of etchings along the side. Definitely felt like in your hand initially, certainly something of basically the exact kind of stuff you tend to trade in. As you kind of take a look at it now, you can give me like a crafting check, I guess, to see as you kind of do your best to kind of mess with it. As you kind of
Would I be able to do esoteric instead?
Sure. Yeah. $21. Yeah, so now, you realize there are moving parts on this this item. And as you kind of quickly turn, kind of in your hand, you're able to shift the bottom of it. Almost like a like a Rubik's Cube, right? You're able to kind of shift the bottom half of it, and it kind of locks into place as you do so. You feel trying to identify what it is kind of out of your reach. At this point now, looking at it, there is definitely something to this, something more to this. So as you kind of lock that point, you start to kind of mess with it again, and you hear some. Now that this has kind of been turned and locked into place, you hear like a slight, like there's something inside this. You kind of shake it a little bit. You hear like just a tiny bit of rattle. So before, where there was like no give at all, there is now kind of on the interior. But it will take some investigating into, right? You'd have to spend some real time with this item to kind of get it to do as you, or to discover more about it, I should say. And with
stuff this in my pocket and carry it with me the entire time.
Okay. All right, so you just kind of shove it down. You'll take looks at it as you can throughout the day, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So, then, with that, that item that was stolen returning again. Is there any mention of it, or you just kind of brush it aside and just head on out?
This area will definitely like walk back to the group and be like, "Well, I no longer have stolen property," which is very nice. Just to anybody.
Hmm.
Because the box is back.
Well, it's still stolen property. It's just got it back.
But how is it still stolen property if it's no longer stolen? It's right there.
Yeah, but it's been
Points over.
stolen. Stolen.
Yeah, but I own it again. It's back in my possession.
Yeah, but in the past it's been stolen, so it's stolen property. You just got back.
That's it. But what?
Don't worry about it. Let's move on.
So, perfect. So, as the groups separate, let us see who we go with first. So, okay. All right. With that, we follow the brothers. So, where exactly were you heading? What were you wanting to chase down? Were you trying to chase down the Lancer directly? Try to find out where you might find him, or?
Well, my idea last time was we were actually going to go and see if we could get some information from the judge on, who, as part of this setup of releasing Thingy Ortega.
Ah, perfect. Okay.
For Octavia, because for Carlos, it all seems tied to that.
Yeah. So the judge who did the initial, what would you call it?
Trial.
Yeah, the initial trial or warrant, right?
Because everybody's convinced that everybody's saying, "Oh, Carlos got her free," but it's the judge that actually freed her.
Oh, you mean? Oh, sorry. So you mean? Okay, exactly. So you're looking for the judge who kind of proceeded over the what had happened, and
Yeah.
Okay, absolutely.
Well, that's Carlos's idea, but he'll turn
What
to
about
Virgil and say, Are we going for the judge? Are we going for the Lancer? What do you think, brother?
I don't think we're going to have any luck with the Lancer. Let's go with the judge first. I don't think the Lancer would have been involved.
Pretty sure the Lancer was involved, but the judge might be an easier mark.
I doubt the Lancer was involved.
Okay.
Fair enough. So yeah. So you start to make your way to the more I guess you could call it like the legal quarter of the city, right? Where essentially everything happens. All the legal activities, whether it be kind of public brandings, especially for like notable figures within the city, kind of losing, this is they definitely like to make a show of things at times, but also just the public trials and things of that nature, right? This is very focused in this one set of the city, and you are on the lookout for a Judge Ruben. Let's see, Marquez. So you know typically where you can find this judge, Carlos. There was a few times where you kind of pre-trial stuff, rather less of a trial. things seem to work very weird in this this case, right? Much weirder than your typical experience goes. It seemed like, you know, anytime you came to kind of present the evidence that you had and kind of further along, something like this typically have, you know, a counter, kind of like a prosecution, you know, fighting against it. And it just seemed like it was just you, right? You showed up, it was a quick, you know, little 5-minute thing, and then things were kind of moved on. And at the moment, you maybe assumed that the client that you had before you kind of made any connections as to who they were, or, you know, what kind of position or what they had done, right? It just felt like, oh, you know, you were finally kind of representing somebody with a little bit more, you know, a little bit more pull to their influence. And so, as you make your way, oftentimes, or rather a couple of times, you didn't even meet in a courtroom. You would have met at a small little, kind of like a cafe, just around the area. And this place was very, very popular. A lot of upper kind of echelon characters within the city tend to, you know, partake at this location. So as you make your way that way, is there any information you want to share with Virgil before?
Okay, brother. This is how it tends to go. While this was my first case representing, I bumped into a lot of judges while doing the support work. A lot of them tend to be miserly leches, and more often than not, they have pretty secretaries that they underpay. So I'm wondering if we can, let's do a bit of groundwork to see if that's the case here, but potentially could run a honey trap sting, put him in a questionable position, and then get what we want from him. What do you think, brother?
You want to sleep with the judge? Is that what
You know
your
what?
suggestion was?
If he gives me the look, it might get us what we need.
Why don't we just ask him some questions?
Judges like to ask questions. They don't really enjoy answering them.
Well, I'll make him answer.
No, brother, you really won't. Your experience at the Iron Rods have an unlimited reach is not based on dealing with a judge. You may find that you are no longer an Iron Rod. I don't think you want that.
Well, I'll follow your lead then. But I'm not comfortable with tricking secretaries.
No intention of tricking a secretary. I want to trick a judge.
As long as everything stays above board, brother, I'm with you.
We'll put a pin in that.
All right. So, looking out, the location that you're looking for is known as the Arbiter's Vice. It is a, I guess a cafe is a little bit under what it actually is. It's basically like a high class, like truly, you know, much more than the Fox location, right? This is truly where the elite of the city would come to have, you know, a drink or two. And it tended to be this judge's kind of favorite location. This judge was definitely not, Ruben was definitely not shy about having a few in the morning. And so as you kind of make your way through the city, having had the talk with each other. You see it up in the distance ahead, little corner location. There are 2 guards that stand at the front. Typically they'll just wave you by unless you legitimately look like trouble, but so far you've had no issues making your way in. And so as you kind of approach these 2 kind of larger figures, actually at first glance, Virgil, based on just general kind of composure as the way they stand, you are almost convinced that the two of these guards are butchers, just based on how they kind of carry themselves. They're not in uniform in any ways, right? Must be off the clock or off shift. But yeah, I mean, something that is we'll say that's very common amongst the butchers is the numerous kind of wounds across their hands, right? From typically is the location where they tend to get hurt the most, kind of using the heavier weapons that they tend to use at their disposal. So yeah, both of these figures, while in their own right a bit large, have all the kind of telltale signs of being butchers.
Okay. Just give them a nod as they walk past.
Okay.
And Carlos will tip his bowler hat as he steps through.
Let's check something really quick. Oh yeah. The 2 of them will kind of give respectful nods back, and then just kind of see you through, right? They don't step in your way. They let you right on by. And so, as the 2 of you enter in, Carlos, not the first time, but Virgil, certainly the first time, as you step inside. To say that this location is luxurious is a bit of an understatement. The furniture of this place looks immaculate, pristine. It's very quiet as you walk in, right? Even the people who tend to have eat or drink here, just kind of don't tend to be. Although there's a lot of business at talk, none of it is above a kind of quiet whisper at best. So as you kind of step in, the interior is a bit darker, just kind of leading to a bit more of a I guess almost cozy feel. As you kind of look around real quick, there are 2 figures that are noticed here. Sitting up by the bar, there is, this figure. You've met them a number of times, Virgil. This is a butcher by the name of, only name you've ever gotten is the first name, so it's Michael. Kind of sits at the bar. He's also kind of dressed down, not wearing his typical attire. But much like you, Michael is, from your experience interacting with him in the past, very much of a same demeanor and I guess manner as regards to the law, right? No compromise, nothing, right? This is one of the tried and true. Would have never taken a handout, would have never taken any kind of underhanded deals or anything like that others may, above board always. And Carlos, I mean, you'll see sitting in his location, right? The spot every time you've seen him, he's always been there, is the judge Ruben Marquez. And he's kind of sitting there with a tall glass already. He's got a plate of food in front of him, just kind of cutting into what looks to be a small, kind of thinly stripped piece of cooked meat. So.
Well, Carlos, kind of warm to the atmosphere in the place and casually walk over to the judge and say, good morning to you, Your Honor. It is good to find you here.
The judge, kind of carving out another bite, will kind of be caught off guard, and they've got their mouth full with like a little bit of food, so they kind of like reach their hand up instinctively to try and kind of kind of lean back and look up at you with a bit of surprise.
I do apologize. Just finish your mouthful and take your time. We do not want to spoil your meal.
Yeah, kind of leans forward and just takes a long sip out of the tall glass in front.
Right,
Carlos, I believe. Were we set to meet today? I thought that we had finished our arrangement.
No. This has come about because of some later events, but I wanted to thank you for being so receptive to the case and for my client. It's they're very appreciated and grateful to be once again free in the city of Valdiran.
Yeah, well, I mean, you had such a fantastic packet put together.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I roll a perception to see if he is being honest, or well, I'm looking to see if he's surprised to see me about and walking for one.
Yeah. Roll me a perception to see what. Yeah. Virgil, you can also partake unless you've decided to, do away with the judge situation.
No, it's all good.
All right. So 19 from Carlos. All right. And a 20 from Virgil. The surprise is certainly genuine, Carlos. And getting a read on it, it's a bit tough. There is a little bit of that, like surprised to see you, sort of energy. Like
but it's could be surprised to see me there rather than.
Yeah, but I'll say you're like 50-50 on it. For Virgil, you get the sense that this judge is definitely surprised to see your brother in, like, assuming that he would have never seen him again, sort of deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this judge knew something, and is kind of like doing his best to kind of like
Disguise
brush
it,
over it. Yeah, disguise it.
Okay. Can I won't say anything, but can I just stand up to the, I don't know, over the shoulder of Carlos, just to his left-hand side, and just stand there to make my presence known? I want to I don't know, I'm trying to get the judge on edge a little bit.
Fair enough. Yeah, as you kind of step up, the judge will kind of like notice you as well. You've brought a friend with you, Carlos? Kind of stumbling over his words a little bit.
Oh yes, this fine upstanding member of the Iron Rods. Yes, I'm actually here under guard, and I'm assisting the Iron Rods with a number of crimes that's occurred within the last day or so.
It's interesting. Well, kind of looking around, a bit nervous, kind of reach forward and take the tall glass and kind of like tilt it back, kind of just finish it out, place it down and kind of just raise their hand, like calling for another drink. As he kind of like chug down that glass. Well then, what can I help you with? I mean, what can I do for you?
Well, as you said, the packet was well put together. Because of the informal nature of some of our meetings on it. I suspect. Well, I never saw the other side, the prosecution's case presented, and I suspect you met them in a similar way. So I was wondering if the court's records are available for review. I'd like to look into a bit more. Some of the words that have come my way, I suspect that my client may be involved in this unpleasantness that I'm assisting the Iron Rods with.
I'm sure your client is kind of looking around a bit. The drink kind of comes and the glass is refilled, and you kind of like quickly kind of reach out and kind of take another long sip before kind of setting it on the table. Sit down, the two of you. Better to talk this way.
Oh, thank you for your kindness.
I'll stand.
Okay. Kind of looks, gives you like a second look before looking at you, Carlos, and kind of leans forward.
He's very disciplined.
Yeah.
Exceptionally good at his job.
Kind of leans forward to speak to you. Carlos, if I could be honest with you, I think it is best to leave things as they are. I'm sure your client has, really kind of playing with their words as this judge kind of looks around. Ruben kind of looks to the side of the walls and up at the ceiling. I am sure that they are completely clear in this regard. Whatever nasty business you think they may have some connection to, and I think.
I do apologise. So you thought I was implicating my client? I can't do that. That goes against the rules. No, I believe somebody else may be stirring up rumours and setting up evidence against them, and I come into this with their best interests at heart.
I see. Even still, and you can tell he's trying to doesn't want to say it flatly, but it's certainly kind of like leaning into the words a little bit, right? Yes, I understand you're trying to keep an eye out for your client's interests. Again, I think it would be best that court records and such remain as they are, sealed and taken care of.
Am I hearing this, Trill?
Yeah.
As he's saying all of this, I don't want to say anything, but can I have a go with this intimidating glare?
Yeah, fair enough.
So you're going to moralise, but it's visual rather than auditory, so I don't have to speak. I can just look at him.
Perfect. Yeah, let's see. 16. Kind of looks at you, catches your eye, right? And kind of like, you can see it certainly shook him, right? He's definitely a bit scared as he kind of like leans back. And he kind of looks back to you, Carlos, kind of like a bit more wide-eyed.
Can I take this opportunity just to stack the deck a little bit and cast Read the Air?
Okay.
And somatic and verbal. So Carlos is just going to go, this is a really nice place. It's there's such an open and honest atmosphere, and he's going to use that phrase to cast the cantrip.
Fair enough. Yeah. So survey. Next diplomacy check to make an impression. Okay. So yeah, you get the +1 bonus. So using a society check. Okay, yeah, so make me the society check.
So he's gonna lean in and he's gonna say, "Look, Your Honor, Judge Marquez, I'm really concerned somebody's working to implicate my client in this. With them coming up before you before, I don't believe this is the first time, and I'm to do what I can to help the authorities bring the correct miscreant to book, and we'll do a society.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, society check.
And it's a
You're cutting in and out for me. I don't know if that's just me.
sorry.
Yeah, you're off me.
I don't know if my PC needs a restart.
Sounds good now.
Right. I've just sat up straight. I think it's already put the +1 in.
Yeah, if it did, then it's all good.
Oh, right, no, I've just added it. Yep. So it's +1 on the circumstance. So roll.
16. Still good enough.
Terrible.
Still good enough. As this judge like begins to visibly kind of sweat, they're gonna lean in real close and they are truly whispering. So at this point, I'm gonna say, like, unless you lean in or something like that, Virgil, you're probably not gonna pick up these words, right? Because he kind of leans in real close to Carlos. He's gonna kind of lean in and, like, in a bit of a desperation voice, Carlos, you cannot pursue this. I implore you to end your investigation here. I'm not sure what exactly you're looking for or why or what is happening, but I assure you that this is not something you want to step in further with. I kind of looks around like he... This goes all the way, to genuine members of the order told me how to handle this interaction. Right? Not something I would have done otherwise, but considering my position, not something I could say no to. Of course, there's something happening, but again, you're playing with forces that are...
Well, Your Honor, that's it would be foolish of me to ignore such sage advice. I thank you greatly for your kindness. I will take you at your word. And Carlos will turn to Virgil and say, well, is there anything you would like here? But the good judge has suggested that perhaps we take a new line of inquiry.
Why is that, Your Honor?
Kind of shoots you a look like, what the fuck? And then kind of looks...
Carlos is going to look at Virgil as well and go, just jaw drop open.
Yeah, he's going to shoot you a look and then look back at... look back at you, Carlos. I think you should maybe inform your... not here, just... Okay?
Come with us back to the guardhouse, then. We can have a conversation in private, sir.
And Carlos will hurriedly step up to Virgil and just sort of, your dedication does you justice, fine iron rod, and he's going to be stammering. But I believe. Wait, look outside. Somebody's getting mugged.
Carlos will just sort of turn his head over his shoulder. Is there?
No, absolutely not. Yeah.
And Carlos is going to try and push Virgil a little bit without it looking like he's assaulting an iron rod.
I just want to study the face of the judge just so that I don't forget it as we slowly walk out.
Yeah. So
As we're walking out, can I just do a quick perception check of the tavern that we're in, just to see if anyone's eyeballing us on the way out?
Yeah. 17 total. Certainly, as you look around, nobody's really giving you look. But you're sitting at the bar. The butcher that you know, Michael. He's kind of got a drink in hand, and he kind of just looks. Not like he's studying what's happening, but more just like he heard something, and he's kind of like just investigating what it might be. So he kind of looks, but he's pulling the cup up to his lips and just kind of taking a drink as he watches Carlos kind of like shush you out of the establishment. A bit of like a confused look on his face.
Can I catch his eye quickly?
Yeah.
Can I just gesticulate with my head outside and see if he notices? Just give myself a quick sort of like nod outside the door.
He you can see his like his brow furrow, but as he kind of finishes the drink, kind of pulls away, kind of looks at you, and he'll just give like a really curt, short nod in return. So the and we'll say with that, Carlos, you've kind of successfully kind of gotten your brother out of the establishment, and as you make your way out into the day, as a reminder, it's still raining this entire time, right? It hasn't yet stopped. It's not torrential, but it is still coming down pretty, pretty well. And so, while that's been happening, Azazel and Desiree, you and Ezra with you as well, although Ezra has her own thing she wants to look into. The three of you make your way to the poorer district of the city. To kind of make your way as three. What are you on the lookout for? What are you trying to do?
I would imagine that we're kind of just on the lookout for like anyone suspicious looking, like anyone that we may recognize from last night.
Okay. And Azazel?
Yeah, probably the same. And maybe anyone I recognize from what we talked about before.
Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, as the two of you, we'll say you kind of split. Ezra kind of goes one direction. The two of you, assuring that you're gonna check another. So the two of you, give me perception checks. As you kind of start to wander in the more poorer side of the city. As you do so, plain and obvious, the festivities, I guess, of the rains has kind of begun in this part of the city. There are a number of merchants all kind of set up already with a number of wares on display. People are already kind of in the streets, enjoying themselves despite the rain, which is a bit of a strange thing. But I mean, it seems like nobody is bothered by the rain. Nobody out here is using any type of umbrella or cover in any way that they would just to kind of keep themselves dry. They've kind of embraced it, right? People are wearing looser clothing, right? Just kind of letting the rain, fall atop them and kind of enjoying it, right? Enjoying the not only the water itself, but the cooler weather, I guess you could say, that comes with it. And so as these festivities and things of that nature have kind of kicked off, Azazel, you certainly see a familiar figure. Although, I guess there's probably a little bit of how much you want to reveal about this character, but you see Renzo. Renzo is, somebody you know, somebody who has connections with various things, and you're able to conduct your business the way you typically conduct it, right? This is your point of contact, so to speak. He's kind of out in a familiar spot, standing up more of like on a stoop, I guess, kind of overlooking the street itself. Kind of arms crossed, and as you kind of come into sight with Desity, he kind of shoots you a look, like kind of looks right over at you, kind of a look of surprise, and kind of nods his head in your direction, like to say, "Hey, what's up?" For Desity, with a natural 20, total of 26 on this perception check, you see the figure kind of look to gain Azazel's attention, but looking around, as the two of you kind of walk into this area, there are a number of people with eyes on Azazel.
Oh no.
And a merchant kind of looks up from, he's got like pastries and stuff on, under a tarp, right, keeping it from the rain, but just kind of on display. But he looks up, and he is currently kind of sharpening a knife, right, to use, for what he's doing, right, cutting up the pastries and kind of, handing them out, but looks a bit more intentional as this figure kind of looks at Azazel. It seems like in this area of the city, Azazel is a little bit popular.
Seeing some of this, Desuri is gonna do like a little glare at some of these people and just stick a little closer to Azazel.
Okay. Kind of give him a look back, right?
Yeah, stink eye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair enough.
I want Desiree to do an intimidation check so badly.
Sure. Yeah. Let's roll intimidation.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. Let's see.
Okay, intimidation.
Go on, that 20.
Almost.
Oh.
It's even better. Yeah, I'll say as you kind of, shoot him a look, they're kind of caught off guard, right? Like especially the pastry guy with the knife, kind of is noticeably kind of flinches at your look, and then kind of redirects their attention towards the pastries and stuff that they're working on. So yeah, you feel like you've certainly kind of shown a little bit of dominance in this moment.
Little smug smile on her face.
Yeah, fair enough.
Azazel will never know.
Okay, so Azazel, you don't see any of this.
Yeah.
Right, Desert is just kind of doing this off to the side, but as you're kind of walking through the street, Renzo kind of lift a hand up and kind of call you over.
Lorenzo?
Renzo. Yeah. He is your point of contact into the Thieves Guild. Or you could say like a thieves group within the city.
Yeah, I'll just wander my way over.
Okay.
Did you say you looked surprised to see me? Or
No. He looked like glad to see you.
Oh,
Right.
cool.
Yeah, so as you kind of come around, he'll kind of kind of call you forward, and then as you approach, you'll kind of step forward and kind of look to shake your hand.
Oh yeah.
Good to see you, Azazel. It's been a couple of days. Were you able to pawn off that item we got together? you know.
Oh, when he starts saying porn off, I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
a little bit.
yeah, yeah. Right. He's pouring it out. And I'll say he says enough, Desiree, that you realize, right? Like maybe some of the items that you receive from Azazel aren't on the up and up, which is probably not the current understanding that the two of you have. But in any case, Renzo kind of catch himself. Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean. Good to see you anyways. Have you come about, have you come looking for some work or something? What's got you in this part of the city? We don't tend to see you around here too much.
Well, got into some bad business the last few days. Got myself arrested. Kind of forced to work with the iron rods. You know, just opening my eyes like, can you believe it?
You're working with the iron rods.
On a temporary basis.
How the
just to get
fuck
some
did that
chart.
come? He's kind of like laughing at him. How the fuck did that come about?
Apparently we have a very good lawyer.
A very good lawyer. Wow. Hey, you have a lawyer? You can afford a lawyer?
I mean, he only asked for 1 gold.
What? This guy's like completely lost on the events. Like, what the fuck?
I'm just as confused as you are.
Yeah, he's got
Don't know how I got here.
One thing to make note of is that Renzo is branded on his arm, right? So he's got the physical kind of, you know, the physical, you know, like the mark that denotes, you know, somebody who has done crimes and, you know, particularly thieving. So you've got to tell me this story. How about we head on in? I've got a table for us. We could probably, you know, have a couple of drinks. You're invited as well, Miss. Kind of like looks back and forth from Azazel to Desiree. Like,
Hello, my name is Desiree.
Yes, this is the story I've told you all about.
I see. Nice to meet you. Seems you and Azazel have a beneficial partnership as far as business goes, right? Well, maybe I can. Maybe we can talk some more too. Yeah, kind of just call you in and kind of steps back up the stoop and kind of opens the door. This is a small kind of shack home, but it does have a you know, lift as far as the foundation goes, which is saying quite a bit about this home compared to other houses in the area, right? Other homes and kind of storefronts are all kind of built directly, you know, on the ground. They don't really have like a sense of foundation to them, but this one does, right? So Renzo himself is not I guess it says more about his station amongst these amongst the poorer area people in this area. He still has a way to, you know, make an earning despite his branded nature and such. So just kind of step inside. It's very quaint. Not a lot of furniture, right? There's a single kind of spot to sit, but then there's a small little kind of a dining table, I guess you could call it, but it's almost like a really big stool, right? In the way it looks, right? Because it's enough for like maybe 3 drinks to kind of sit down. And there's a couple of chairs surrounding it. You'll kind of you know, motion to the to that location. Yeah, take a seat. I'll brew us up some. What would you be having? I have a couple of drinks I can offer.
Do you have coffee?
I believe so.
Lots of cream and sugar, please.
Make it 2.
I don't have any of that, but I have the coffee.
Okay, fine.
So, yeah. So he'll just kind of grab a small kind of fireplace. There's a pot kind of sitting, kind of hanging close to. Just kind of go grab it and grab a couple of cups, kind of set them on the table, and just quickly kind of pour. Yeah, just kind of straight. Yeah, black coffee. So you kind of sit down. You'll pour that for the two of you. but he will already have something in a mug that he kind of just picks back up from the table. As he kind of sits down, takes a quick sip, and looks at the two of you. Well, working with the iron rods now. You've certainly.
Just temporarily. I don't want to be doing this shit.
I don't know. I mean, it could be profitable. I mean, you know, it's certainly safer than what we do, huh?
Not by much. We got ambushed in an alleyway last night.
Is that right? Oh, you have 2 wounds.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that, but I don't want to break the floor.
Yeah, you're very So you kind of looks like, you know, ambushed in an alley. It's kind of like the thing that really draws his attention. He recognizes, like, oh right. He kind of leans in. Damn, what happened to you? Kind of looks over at Desiree. You also have a wound, right? So you've been burned.
Yeah.
So the 2 of you?
Yeah.
You're in on this too? You're working with the iron rods, Desiree, was it?
Yeah. It's a very weird story, but I'm part of this as well. So here we are.
Let's see. So
Just quietly sipping the coffee, just like, oh, my 3rd one today.
The coffee is terrible. It's probably the worst one you've had. So yeah.
Desir's not even drinking it.
Yeah, you took one and maybe you like pretended that you finished the sip, but you actually just kind of spit it back into the cup. It just kind of right. It's burned, right? Yeah, it's spent too much time on the fire, not much care given to it.
Do so much better.
Yeah, absolutely. As you're trying to kind of any way I can help? I mean, not with the iron rods thing. I'm sorry, I don't want to really get involved in all of that, but what's got you what's got you in this part of the city? Like, what's going on?
We're just looking for some information about, I forgot the name already. Ortega.
Kind of looks a bit confused. Are you looking for Octavia?
Octavia, thank you.
Octavia, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
As you say the name, he kind of gives you like a real quick look, like, what would you be? And there's this like air of like, whoa, you know, what would you be investigating them for? What information do you need?
Mainly where they are. I think that's who attacked us last night. They don't want us sniff around this case that, you know, apparently they got let off recently. The trial was... What was it? No. I was going to say it's Kangaroo Court, but it's not. No, me.
Yeah, Kangaroo Court is like the opposite, I think.
Yeah.
What this would be.
Yeah. Couldn't think of the phrase.
It's all good. Yeah, Renzo's looking like very like, whoa now. Very obvious kind of concern spreads across his face. He kind of looks off away from the 2 of you, just kind of looking into a random direction, like the ground maybe, and just trying to figure exactly his next word. So you're working with the iron rods, investigating Octavia Santori. And you were attacked by her directly?
We think so, right? Sorry.
Well, first it was the twins, and then...
The twins?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They busted into the Iron Rod's constabulary?
Yeah, we'll say guardhouse.
Yeah, guardhouse. Killed one of the guards. I think they were there to make a statement. We just got the fuck away from them.
And then there was the whole thing with in the alley last night where we were attacked by a small group of them.
Yep.
Kind of sits back in his chair and kind of looks at you, especially as Azo. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm in the shit.
That is That is not as half as bad as what you. He's kind of fumbling over his words. He doesn't really know what to say. If you are involved with anything and you're being targeted by Octavius Centauri, the only recommendation I can have for you is to get out of the city. Do you know if there is like I mean, are you like, is there a bounty on your head or anything like that? I mean, are you being hunted, or is it just?
That's what we need to find out. We don't know shit. Just looking for any information on what's going on, so we can report back to the Iron Rods and get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have got arrested by them, and this is getting the charge. Well, both of us, getting the charge levied if we help them.
What charge would that be? I mean,
apparently I murdered a guy when I didn't murder a guy, and I found a guy just dead in the alleyway.
You're blowing this guy's mind. He's like, what the fuck? He's like, just like, he kind of like leans back, his eyes open like wide, like.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a few days.
Oh, and then I was arrested along with him because I was just there.
That tracks. Yeah. Where are you staying at right now?
At Desori's place?
My apartment at my store.
Where's that?
It's odds and ends, a little ways towards the shopping center of the city district.
Okay. Odds and ends. What I recommend, kind of leans forward. If that's where you're gonna be, I mean, I think out like this right now is not a good idea. You should probably be laying low as best as you can. I mean, with everything going on, if you head back there, I'll do what I can to find some more information, see if there's any kind of bounty or anything like that on there. And I mean, Sazel, it's got Renzo kind of leans in, like, everything we do, I mean, it's sanctioned by Octavia Centauri. Like, that's why we can do what we do. We have her permission.
Yeah, I know. That's what makes this whole situation even another level fucked up.
Yeah, he kind of like, he's patting his leg, like, almost like clamping his thigh, almost, right? Like, where his knee is, you know, just kind of like moving his hand in like a very nervous energy kind of way. The two of you, sincerely, he kind of looks at you, really tries to stress this point, kind of looks to you, especially Deserty, like, the two of you really need to lay low. If there is anything on your head, I mean, you know, everybody here around here knows about it, right? I mean, if that's the case, I haven't really kept up with that sort of thing. I don't, you know, I'm typically not the person to go look for somebody, right? But lay low. Yep. I will find out what I can, and then I'll send a word or make my way myself to your shop and tell you what I've been able to find out.
Greatly appreciate
kind of
that.
Yeah, he kind of bites his bottom lip, and you can see him kind of go in thought. Two of you roll me perception checks here.
Oh no. No way. I have a bad feeling about this. Oh, 16. 24.
16. Okay. Alright, 24, 23, 21. Okay. I'm gonna have to do some mental math, so I'm just gonna make a roll here real quick. Okay. Yeah. You kind of, you watch as Renzo kind of like shakes his head, like, okay. Like he's come up with an answer and he's like agreeing with himself mentally. Yeah. Yeah. The two of you lay low a bit. I'll see what I can do. You know, maybe I can set a meet for you, right? Yeah, I mean,
Meeting may be a good idea.
getting to Octavia is I mean, what information would you want if you had somebody who could answer your questions right now, right? What would you ask them? Beyond the bounty and stuff like that.
What the fuck is going on?
Is there something we shouldn't be a part of? Like we don't know. Like someone stole from my shop and then suddenly it's back, but now then there was all the murders and everything. Like if there's something that's going on, I need to know. So if I'm not supposed to be a part of it, I can get out.
Yeah, same. Is this something we should be looking into? But the other two, that's what you're going to find out. Well, the other three.
Okay. I'll get some information for you. Just get back to your shop and just keep your heads down. Right.
How long?
I mean, listen, it's the person you're asking about is very dangerous. Right? They control the crime in the city. I mean, they are they're back out. I mean, fuck, I didn't even know that happened.
Yeah. Apparently they had a really good lawyer.
Yeah, they must have.
Yeah. So good that they wanted to kill them.
I mean, you could find that lawyer. It'd probably help you out a bit.
Little does he know.
Yeah. Just until this evening, right? I can ask things around. I have a lot of contacts over here. I can try to find some information. This evening, I'll be by myself, right? I'll head right over. I'll tell you what I can. I mean, to be honest with you, Zazel, and you, Desiree, I mean, the answer might be to get out of the city. I mean, you're dealing with some heavy hitters here, and this is not going to be.
I don't think that's going to be an option.
Oh.
Unfortunately.
We're kind of in the thick of it.
Yeah, we kind of are in the thick of it. It's either we stay in this and get targeted, or we run and have the iron rods on us.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
It's the lesser of two evils.
I guess it is, yeah. His energy kind of goes down a little bit. Okay, well, hey, take this. You'll kind of step up and kind of rifle through this small little closet that's there. And you'll pull out two large kind of cloaks, and you'll kind of toss them. Put these on, keep yourselves a bit out of sight, right? And I'm gonna need the two of you to leave to the back. I can't have you going to the front.
I get it.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
Just keep yourselves out of sight. Get out of this area, man. Get out of this area. This is the last place you want to be. I mean, there are a lot of desperate people here, right? And if there is,
I know, but I need to find you somehow.
I understand. Okay. Well, hey, I'll get what information I can, and I'll come to you this evening, and tell you what I know, what I'm able to figure out, and I don't know, maybe you'll have a better idea around then, yeah? You kind of reach his hand out to shake yours, Azazel.
I was gonna say on the way out, I'll grab his hand, like, no, really, I appreciate this.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. I mean, well, I do worry about it, but just...
Yeah.
You as well, Desiree. Keep yourself safe.
You too. Hope you get through this as well.
You'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Do we need to do stealth checks?
No. So you throw the cloaks over, kind of step out. He opens the door, and as you kind of step out, this area, like behind, into the alleyways back here, is not very, popular to kind of traverse, right? Especially now, a lot of people are on the main streets because that's where all the goodies are, right? Like all of the festivities for the rains. So as the two of you kind of step out, the cloak's doing well to kind of stop the water from kind of soaking the two of you, and you kind of step out. And where do you head? Do you head back to the shop?
right back. Yeah, I do not want to be on the streets after that.
Okay. Absolutely.
Yeah, but along the way, Desiri is going to, in a very hushed and very, as quiet as she can be while basically yelling at him, she looks at Aziz and goes, "You work for her?"
I work inadvertently. She just allows us to get shit into the city. Can we discuss this when we get back?
How much have you given to me?
How long
how
we
much
known
is
each other?
I want to say maybe about 2 years now.
Yeah, probably. So like what, a few pieces per month maybe?
Yeah. Dozens
Like
at
what-
least,
Yeah, I'd say dozens at this point. Not
potentially.
in the hundreds, but dozens.
Yeah, you're getting real close to the hundreds.
How much of it is legal and how much of it isn't? What?
I don't ask
Why don't you
questions.
tell
neither
me
should
things?
you. Because of this reaction. Because I knew you'd freak out. Now, can we please just get the fuck back?
We could have worked things out too. I would have given you better pricing.
Sorry. That's
Fair enough.
amazing.
Fair enough. So,
Better pricing. Shut the
Perfect.
up.
so yeah, kind of talking to each other in this hurried fashion, but as well as hurrying as best as you can physically, you start to just rush away from this poor district of the city and head back to the odds and ends. So back to Virgil and Carlos. Carlos, you've successfully kind of pushed your brother out of the store, out of the location, and the two of you are like, you kind of push him out enough and kind of take a few steps away to ensure that the two kind of butcher guards, bouncers, I guess is really what you could call them, are out of line of, maybe out of line of sight, but at least out of kind of hearing range. They just kind of let you kind of pass by, maybe like giving each other like a kind of a smirk at look, but they don't like intervene on you kind of shoving him out or anything like that. So as two of you kind of step out.
Carlos is going to ineffectively pull on Virgil's arm and then just say, give up trying to force him to go somewhere, say, come over here, and just try and duck into a bit of a quiet space where they can have a chat unobserved.
What is it, brother?
Just a quick word. Perhaps I need to fill you in on some of the niceties of the legal order in the city, which you may not be aware of. Treat it as an education, or character development.
I'm listening.
Are we just in the middle of the street, or has he moved to the side?
No, I'll come with you. I'll move with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I just keep
Good
my
stuff.
eye out for when the butcher that I gesticulated to
Yeah.
leaves?
For sure.
Cheers.
The guys, maybe not in this area, but out there, the law applies to the people out there. It applies to me. At a certain level, higher than what I experience, it applies to you as well. That guy in there, the law doesn't apply to him.
The law applies to everyone, brother.
The law does not apply to him. He gets to set who the law applies to. You do not try and drag a guy like that, or you will be down at the likes where I am. Probably lower. And your bosom buddies over there in the Rubber Schlong Club will take great pleasure in giving you the beatings and the branding. You've been there before, brother. You don't want to be back there. That's probably the thing a bit.
With the mention of the brand, Virgil looks very pissed off. So, and whose fault was it that I got the brand, brother?
What are you talking about, brother?
Never mind. Has this butcher left the shop yet?
Yeah, so essentially, as you say, never mind. You can see Michael kind of pushing open the door and kind of looking out. He kind of steps out with a heavy kind of cloak, kind of pulled up.
And I just look over at Carlos and said, "You had your chance. Now do things my way for a change."
Okay.
Michael will kind of shake the hands of the two butcher bouncers, kind of giving them kind of respects a bit. It seems like they respect him more than he kind of respects. It's more of like a thing with him. And he kind of looks around and he catches your eye, and he'll start to just make his way right over with no hesitation. So as he kind of walks up, to give a bit of a description to Michael, as you see him now, he's a big guy, broad-shouldered, but he is not as tall as like one would expect, right? A lot of the butchers are kind of physical specimens in the sense that they are just massive, right? He's big, but he's not, a giant by any means. And looking at him, he doesn't actually look native to this area. He's paler skinned. He's got fair, kind of blonde hair. He has a beard that is like a mix of like red and blonde, right? So he'll kind of step forward. I guess compared to your height, he's probably actually a bit shorter, but just like a barrel of a person as far as width goes.
In terms of, obviously it doesn't have to be particularly detailed, but where would I know him from?
There has been a number of times, just as a iron rod, that you probably would have come into contact with Michael, whether it's him. He tends to be the one of the butchers that just seems to be always on, right? Always doing something rather than taking breaks, and as it kind of as the job is back and forth. He's always there. So anytime there was ever like a kick down the door situation, he was always kind of front line. He probably was there when you took down Octavia the first time, right? So he's certainly not.
Does he have a rank that I know of?
Within the butchers?
Yes,
He is certainly one of the more veteran butchers. I would say, did we do anything special with the butchers as far as ranks?
I think we did. Yeah, was it? It's top of my head.
Let's find it real quick. Let's see. So,
we had the leader of a butcher squad, didn't we?
Yeah. So let me find that real quick. No, I mean, where's this at? Oh, okay. No, I think we went the route where like the more senior you are, the more they just kind of take lead, right? Based on the same way it works within the arbiters, right? Senior kind of tends to work as the mentor, and same with the butchers, right? But considering that, Michael would certainly have a lot of experience in that regard. Yeah. So, we'll kind of just give you a nod, Virgil.
Michael, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Surprised to see you in there. Were you working?
No. It's they've got me kind of a forced break. Yeah.
Working too hard, I see.
Seems to be the case, or maybe I kind of looks at you a bit. Yeah, maybe I pissed off the wrong people. What brings you? I mean, surprised to see me, but typically there's butchers in and out of there. What brings you up this way?
An investigation, Butcher.
Hmm.
Can I trust your discretion?
If you can't trust mine, then I'm not sure who you could.
Oh, this is my brother. Nods over at Carlos.
Carlos, is it? He knows his name before you mention it. Something to
Indeed
that
it
effect.
is.
Again, tips his hat, but holds eye contact.
He kind of squints his eyes looking at you, Carlos. And back to Virgil.
He's assisting us, my department, with the investigation. The man that we were talking to in there, do you know who he is?
Yeah. Judge of some sort, I believe.
We suspect that he is involved in the return of a certain individual to the streets that we're investigating. I believe you were there when we took her in to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd gotten word. Kind of looks to you, Carlos specifically. Giving you like a look and then kind of brushing you off a bit. Somebody had done the work required, I guess, to twist events and seems to be out and walking.
Yes, well, believe it or not, this one's not that good of a lawyer. We suspect it was...
Carlos will turn and look at his brother, and his jaw will drop again.
We suspect it was a plot.
Yeah, that tracks. A lot of weird things going on lately.
And we have suspicions that that man may have been involved.
That also tracks. Yeah. I'm not surprised to hear this. I think something along the same lines is why I'm here having a drink, not in uniform. It was a...
how long have you been in there?
well, just kind of looks around. An hour or two, maybe.
Has anyone other than us come up and spoken to the judge?
He kind of shakes his head, yeah. Somebody who certainly looked like they didn't belong in a tavern frequented by judges, more for the other side of town, down in the slums.
Could you describe him to me?
Yes. He describes, for you, Carlos, he describes to the T, Luca Centauri.
Don't ring any bells, brother.
Yeah. It's the guy that paid me.
Mm-hmm.
It's Luca Centauri. That name should raise an eyebrow, brother.
Indeed.
Yeah. So, you got paid and then played, didn't you? Looking at you, Carlos.
Well, I was playing. I was having a good time. Then I got rudely awoken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It tracks as well. It's been a lot of strange happenings in this side of things. Looking to you, Virgil.
I might have another request for you.
What's that?
If we were to take that man in, would you stop us?
I wouldn't. I'm not too certain about the other two, though.
Are they your men?
unfortunately not. They're not even, working at the moment, right? So, my authority, even if they were, would be there. You, kind of thinks things over. Yeah, there's been a lot of pressure from above. A lot of weird happenings. Few
Well, it's
people.
the rains. What do you expect?
No, not the rains. Before the rains, leading up to all of this, came across some information that suggested that the prisoner, I guess, used in the bargain that your brother here so expertly handled, suggested that the evidence against them was fabricated. Well, I know it was fabricated. I know who did the crimes. We took down Octavia, right? The right way. The legal, to the point. I mean, that was the Lancer who put the job together. No other way about it. So, I think that's why I'm here. I think that's why I'm not in uniform. I just, I took it up rank, and I was given a vacation for it.
Mhm.
So, whatever you've gotten yourselves into, it seems to be a bit heavy. Kind of laughs at that.
Who was the Lancer that you say you took it to a Lancer?
Well, when he mentioned the Lancer, he meant the Lancer that put together the whole
Right, okay.
yeah, the whole warrant, I guess you could say, the whole investigation surrounding it. But no, he took it like up the line. Oh, you're asking which Lancer put it together?
Yeah.
I guess you wouldn't be privy to the information, right? Only kind of people above a certain board would have and know who kind of puts together these things, because they're typically not there, right? They're
behind the scenes.
Yeah, they're more behind the scenes, essentially for their kind of protection. Although people tend to know which Lancers are which. But yeah, the Lancer that put this case together was none other than Vicente Santolaria.
We've heard that name once or twice before in this investigation.
Yeah, stand up, as far as I understand it, but
as far as I know as well.
Yet he keeps turning up.
Well, I mean, you had a lot to do with that, didn't you?
Me?
Mm-hmm. Took the job.
I'd never run in with a Lancer.
But you undermined his work.
Oh, right. So this is revenge. Yeah, because he was there when I was arrested. He was there. He was there when I was arrested.
Yeah.
Before I knew something had happened.
Funny how that works.
Explain that. Two iron rods knock on the door before I know something has happened.
Lancers are good at their job.
Very.
Guess you weren't as slick as you thought you were. Just kind of dismissing the insinuations you're making, right? He just does not give a fuck, right? He's just, you are guilty in his eyes. Even if it's not maybe of the crime specific, you're guilty of something, which is getting Octavia out, which to him is probably the biggest crime he could commit. Right? He's got that attitude.
Yeah, he's not Carlos's friend. I get it, Trill.
Yeah. But
He's not succumbing to his charms.
indeed. But looking back at Virgil, man, if you are really committed to this, you know, I'm allowed to do freelance work whenever I'm not in uniform. I mean, if you need some help with anything, I'd surely lend a hand at bringing. And he kind of says this with like a bit of disgust in his voice, with bringing her back in. As long as you have yeah.
Could you bring anyone else with you?
No, not like this. Not while I'm handcuffed with my vacation. During the rains, he's kind of like disgusted by the fact that he's, not in uniform.
It's going to be a busy time of year. If you're at a loss for something to do, my district could use your help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can head down that way. Still, and he kind of like describes it, they still got you down there.
For the moment, yeah.
Come they haven't called you up yet. Or I know why they haven't called you up yet, but why do you think they haven't called you up yet?
Well, there's a number of reasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thank you for your help, Michael.
Mm-hmm. Keep at it. Eventually they cannot deny you.
It's a disgrace to see someone like you sitting this out.
Yeah.
We need all the help we can get.
Yeah. Your captain kind of thinks for a moment, like kind of recognizing or kind of like a thought just kind of came to him in this moment. Is your captain, he kind of like starts to snap his fingers like he's trying to remember the name of the captain that you work under.
Yes, him. Yeah.
Him. I see.
I want to say Alvarez.
Yeah, Alvarez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alvarez. No. It's
No,
not.
Alvarez is the girl.
That's the jeweler.
Yeah, that's the jeweler.
I've written it down.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I have it written down. I just don't have it. I just can't find where it's written down. Oh, actually, you know what? I can do this. Captain.
Starts with I.
Captain Vargas.
No. Doesn't start with
Yeah. Yeah, did we get Captain Vargas? Okay. All right. Yeah, so still on a Captain Vargas. You should watch your back with that one. His loyalties lie with only the order. He does not give a damn about law as it stands. So, just a word of advice. Although I will go see him. Maybe my presence can,
He's in way over his head.
Yeah, to say the least.
Some guidance from a man of your experience will only help. Be warned, though, it's no cakewalk down there.
I'm sure.
We're in up to our necks.
We'll see. But, kind of just give you a nod. Well, good to see you again. Wish you luck, and again, if you get a beat on her, do not hesitate to ask.
You'll be the first to know.
Kind of reach out and kind of clasp your hand, like a sturdy shake. And then he'll just kind of turn and make his exit. Just kind of walk away. Doesn't even acknowledge Carla.
I like him.
Yeah.
He's a good man.
Yeah, he's your kind of guy.
Indeed. We need more men like that in the force.
It's an amazing secreted broad pocket he's got. A nice straight back.
What are you implying, brother?
He walks with bearing.
That he does.
A bit of an odd shuffle.
So in an influent like this, you're looking for a shop that may sell magical items.
That's right.
Yeah, I'll say that specifically while Virgil and Michael kind of like had that conversation, maybe you've kind of kept an eye out, and you've seen a small little shop that for purpose of just kind of quickly getting through it. You head right in, spend the gold that you need, and you receive what you were looking for.
Magic. I'll drag that across.
Yeah. Okay.
While we're doing that, Carlos is going to share what the judge leaned in to tell him. He said, you know something, what's this order? Michael mentioned it. Judge, apparently, all this, at least the release of Octavia, came down as an instruction from the order. You seem to have twigged to, brother. I had very little to do with this. Do you know what this order is?
As in the order, like the order of the Golden Hand, you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what they're referring to. Yeah.
I think everyone would know that.
you would know as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Leaders of the city, essentially, in like the in all ways, right? Business, military, just general order, like the order of the Gilded Hand.
Administration.
Yeah,
everything.
administration. Yeah, everything that you do, even as a lawyer, right, is influenced by the order of the Gilded Hand.
So, brother, our discussion before about who the law applies to. This goes all the way up, apparently. How far are you willing to stick your neck out?
The entire way.
The Golden Hand?
It won't come to that, brother. There are members of the order in the senior ranks of the Golden Hand. Our commander is one of his key members. If necessary, we'll take it to him.
Oh, brother. Should be entertaining. But I'll keep my eye out for a back door to slip through when this all goes pear-shaped. Should we head that way? Or do you think we should... Would you like to try something else first? Is there any...
I don't think we
anybody
should.
else?
I don't think we can walk into the... We haven't decided on the headquarters of the order yet, have we? True.
No, not yet.
No. I don't think we could walk straight into the order with merely suggestions about a corrupt judge. I think we need to do a bit more investigation before we present it to them.
Well,
I'd ideally like to turn up with a suspect or two.
well, we know the judge is in on it.
Do you think you can take him?
Take the judge?
Yes.
Tricky. He's suspicious now. Besides, I think he was extremely surprised to see me walk through that door, so I don't think he's going to want to do anything that I have that I might suggest.
Well, we wait for him to leave. I'd drag him out.
Or we could set him up in a compromising situation.
Brother.
No? Think?
What compromising situation?
Something that he wouldn't want to get around, perhaps?
Such as?
Perhaps there are witnesses to him being in a state of undress with
Brother.
somebody. Well, I mean, if you want it to be me, we can go that way. But I was gonna look at something that might be more to his taste.
I don't think we have enough time to set this up, brother.
Okay, well, let's call that Plan B. Where do you think we should go next then? How about your Lancer?
I don't think the Lancer is involved. You ruined the entire case that we set up. It's natural that the Lancer would pay particular attention to you. It's your own fault for getting yourself in such a compromised situation, brother. I don't know who murdered that woman. I don't think it was you. But I doubt it was the Lancer that framed you.
Well, would you like to go back to that then and find out who did murder that woman to set me up? Somebody tipped off that force that something had happened in that room. Yeah? Your fellow Iron Rods knew about it before I did. So somebody is dirty in your organization.
Maybe we should speak to the Lancer.
Maybe you should speak to the Lancer, and I will just be on hand watching from a slight distance. Don't think your reputation is going to be enhanced by me being too close.
Very well.
So, thinking about the best way to get in touch with this Lancer, it occurs to you that Desiree had mentioned that Lancer visits her shop almost practically every day. So
we'll head back that way then.
All right. So finished up with the judge, got in some answers in a more of a roundabout way, and some conversation with a butcher who seems to also be facing, although much less dangerous of a situation that the two of you have been faced with the previous evening. Seems to be facing some sort of underhanded punishment for coming across the wrong information. In any case, as the two of you turn your way and think best way to speak to this Lancer, right? What questions you may ask when you have the opportunity, if you have the opportunity at some point. So, two of you turn and start to head on back towards odds and ends. So, back to Azazel and Desiree. The two of you doing your best to blend in with the crowds, right? Keep out of any sort of attention or anything along those lines. The two of you give me perception checks, please.
Oh boy. Perception check after perception check.
Listen, we gotta be watching over our shoulders.
Yeah.
Oh, that's alright.
Azazel with the... Alright. The soapy. Yeah, perfect. So 25. Yeah, very, very aware. Probably because the two of you are very paranoid at this moment, right? Or at the very least, Azazel is. I'm not sure how Desiree feels. But keeping eyes on, essentially in the back of your head, right? Ensuring that you're not followed or anything along those lines. With the 25, Azazel, you kind of, maybe you and Desiree kind of stop for a moment. Kind of pretending to be like with the crowd, right? Stop and look at one of the vendors on your path back to Desiree's shop, and kind of looking around quickly. Azazel, you see a figure kind of stop and start to do the same thing as you, right? Looking at some random shit, whatever's in front of them. One of the merchants that are outside because of the rains, and then as doing your best to kind of act, in place. the two of you turn and continue on. But Azazel, you keep your eyes as you turn, and you see the figures watching you. And as you turn and start to walk, they do the same, you know, as if they were never interested truly in what they kind of stopped to check out. So you see this figure a bit of ways back. They are they're showing themselves clearly. There's no cloak, there's no, like, you know, nothing about them is hidden. You see that they have long, well, kind of shoulder length black hair. They have like a kind of like a 5 o'clock shadow going on, right? They're not fully shaved, but it's not like a full-on beard just yet. They're human, with tan skin, and yeah, they're, as best as you can tell, they do have a weapon by their side. It looks to be like a rapier of some sorts, just kind of hanging kind of loosely there. But visually, they don't look very impressive, right? The armor that they're wearing, the gear that they're wearing doesn't look to be, you know, in any sort of like state of recognition.
I don't recognize them though, and I don't know them.
Yeah, you don't recognize them and you don't know them.
Do they look like someone I can take in a fight?
Yeah, you feel relatively confident about it.
Okay, cool. Without trying to... Oh, well, do I only notice, or is it just Suri notices as well?
Just you.
Me?
Yeah, just you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I don't really want to make Desuri panic either, so I'm gonna keep that to myself until if this person does continue to follow us, I want to do what you said a second time, like stop, just grab like a stall with water, like get a water for like a copper piece or some shit.
Okay.
And then if they do the same, like, oh yeah, this is getting followed.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you do that, they do the same. You're being followed, and you have the spot on them, and it doesn't seem like they recognize that you have the spot on them, right? They think they got the drop on you, but
yeah.
The
So
way
what I'm
moving.
gonna do is, I'm gonna take an unorthodox route back. Probably Suri's gonna be like, where are we going?
What the?
Bro.
Where the hell are you going?
The shortcut. And just as we're going around a corner into an alleyway, I wanna have her keep going and then 2 steps back, wait for them to come and ambush them.
Okay. All right.
So as they turn the corner, I want to grab them, put them against the wall, knife to the throat, going, "Can I help you?"
Real quick, while he's doing that, can I use Mage Hand to take his rapier away from him?
Well, let's see if we do it first.
Yeah, I would say you could do it, but it would have to be after Azazel grabs a hold of him, right? Like,
Well, yeah.
he's got to be like in
Yeah.
a pin position first.
Let's see if I actually pin him first.
Yeah. So, make an athletics check for me.
Oh boy. Athletics. That's not so good. I would rather do acrobatics.
If you can describe to me how you grab somebody acrobatically, I will allow for an acrobatics roll in place of athletics.
Too late. I've rolled.
No, it's
Come
okay.
on.
Yeah, it's
Come
okay.
on.
It's okay.
Oh, all
You
right.
just, give me the
fuck.
description, right? Build it up.
Yeah, alright. So, yeah, I would wait for him to come around the corner, because I know he's going to be coming. Let Desuri, like, take 2 steps away, because I don't want her within range. And as he's coming around the corner, grab him by the shirt and literally throw him to the ground, like, overhead, basically karate throw him at this point.
Okay.
Grab him, throw him to the ground so he's a little bit stunned, and knife, throat. Who the fuck do you think you are?
Okay, absolutely. So then, yeah, doing a bit more karate though, as you said. Go ahead and roll me an acrobatics.
Oh, boy. Let's go with a
So
reroll.
it's
Come
better.
on. Come on. It's not much better, but it's better.
It's a bit better. I would say he's. So then it would be. I would say
now-
because he's got a negative modifier because he does not know this is coming. He thinks he's
I
fully
was
on
about to
board.
ask, do I get a plus this?
Yeah. It works like the opposite. Like he has negative rather than
Yeah.
you have a plus. But
Fair.
it's like a base, so it's like 10 plus whatever his. So
Now I'm on top of him.
yeah, you he comes right around the corner, and before he has a chance, you grab him by the shoulder, right? Like grabbing onto his cloak and his clothes, and you just kind of throw your leg in front of his, and just like with a sweeping hip toss, you just lift him up off the ground and kind of slam him into the onto the stone pavement. Immediately you've got your knife in hand, so you've already got it kind of pressed up against his throat. The blow from being grabbed and kind of tossed, his head, his shoulders and back kind of slamming against the stone floor, immediately kind of has him reeling. Like it's like, oh, he lands hard, and the blade is at his throat before he has a chance. He's just kind of like, wait, as he kind of just calls out. Yeah.
I was gonna say, if all that isn't bad enough, he's got a red-skinned, yellow-eyed tiefling with sharp not vampire fangs, but fangs nonetheless. Just
Fair
going,
enough.
can I help you?
And then Desuri is just standing there, like, kind of freaked out, but also stealing his rapier with the mage hand.
Fair enough.
So that
Yeah.
she's holding it.
Yeah, I'll say
What do you
perfectly
want?
fine. Yeah, I'll say like it happens in the between time where he's like kind of almost passed out from the sudden hip toss, and then yeah. So, you have you've quickly got the rapier in hand. As you take it in hand,
Tag team, yo.
I'll say you've got it fine. Yeah, so you hold it, kind of brandishing it out towards him, right? What do you want? As the two of you kind of pile on, like essentially asking, like, what the fuck do you want? And he's like, wait. He kind of like, he tries to lift his hands up as best he can, kind of putting him in between you and his body. All right.
I'll let him. I've got a knife through his throat.
Okay. Yeah. You just kind of like
Any
puts his
funny
hand-
business, his throat's getting slit.
Yeah. So, it's not what you think it is, please. It's not what you think it is.
Then what is it? 5 seconds.
He kind of coughs, feeling the blade at his throat. I just wanted to see where you were going.
Why?
You know why. They're looking for you.
Just like growling, like, fuck.
Alright, just, I'll turn around. I won't follow you anymore. I don't know where you're going. Just, I'll leave it like that. Sorry. Sorry for trying. Yeah, it's just, it's a very generous amount. Just for your location, even.
Just kind of squint at him, just like,
If you want to see if he's lying, you can roll me a perception check.
Yeah. Thinking that. What are my rolls tonight?
Can I do
Gotta
too?
have got good, like, stuff to him.
That's pretty good.
Boosts.
You get the feeling like he's being honest in this moment. He's very passive right here, and he's not. He doesn't even seem to be trying to like lay it on with the lying or anything. He just seems to be like a little, like fuck this, right? He is very shook up by the hip toss and then the sudden, the stealing of his weapon and your blade at his throat. Like all of that happening in an instant has just got him like, oh, yep, fuck this, right? Too much for me. So he's got his hands out like he's surrendering. Just let me go. I won't say a thing. I won't even say I saw you. Doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, I know you. I know you won't.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna have to roll, but I do want to attack the guy. But basically, what I want to do is just smack him and knock him out, not actually deal damage.
Okay.
Just so there's a guarantee he's not gonna follow us in the next 5-10 minutes.
Fair enough. Okay. I guess I'll say you've got him in a vulnerable position. For the sake of narrative because I don't think he would fight. Right, I think because he's genuinely being honest about not following. I'll just say you're able to do it. Right, you've got him in such a position where you just drop like an elbow on his face, right? Just like
Yeah.
I
just don't want to assume I could do that.
Yeah, you kind of just slam it on him, and then his head kind of bounces off the back of the stone floor, and he's unconscious. So you just kind of quickly kind of deal with him.
And I'll prop him up against the wall like he's passed out, drunk or something.
Yeah.
And as I'm walking past, just leave the sword.
Nah, I take it.
You keep it?
Yeah, I keep it.
All right, perfect.
I can't see how that's gonna bite us in the ass.
All right.
Let's just go back to the shop before anyone else notices.
With that dealt with, you hide the blade as best as you can. Desi, right, kind of hiding it in the cloak, and just kind of throw your the hoods over your heads, and just as best as you can, just continue your way back to odds and ends, and you arrive. You make it there. You're the first two, so Desi, you just unlock and open up the store, right? Things kind of ducking back in.
Could I just do a quick perception check as we go in? Like, I want to check no one's followed us and...
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Sure. Just as we're going around corners and... I'm fucking blind today. What the fuck?
Everything is clear.
I'm paranoid.
Mm-hmm. Everything's clear. You feel like knocking that guy out. He was the only one you saw, and you were very, your head was on a swivel at that time. So if there was anybody else to be seen, I mean, you don't feel like you missed anything. You feel like that was the one, and he was the only one to have kind of caught you. And other than that, you're good. So you give one quick look around at the very least, out of paranoia. And it seems like everything's cleared. There's nobody giving any odd looks. Nobody's kind of focused on the store. Things seem to be okay. So, as the two of you enter in, Desiree, are you opening the shop up proper? Or are you just kind of heading in and then closing the door?
I would say probably opening it up proper. I mean, it's
Okay.
business hours now, so.
Okay.
For real?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
He
Perfect.
just told us to lay low.
So,
And what's more laying low than being on time for work?
So, you open up the blinds, right? You make it look like everything is back to business as usual. Two of you are there for a bit. Say about 15 minutes pass or so, and Virgil and Carlos, the two of you, arrive back, having finished up your business as well. Heading back here to the odds and ends store to meet up with this Lancer, hopefully, if he stops on by. Two of you enter in, and kind of as you're walking in, we'll say that Ezra also kind of arrives roughly about the same time, having completed business on her own. So, with the party kind of joining back together at the store, you take places wherever you do inside the store. Maybe you share some information, kind of tell each other what has happened, what you're expecting, and we can handle that at the start of the next session. But I'll say that the way this one ends is as you're all kind of talking and explaining things to each other. This is what I found, and this is what we found. What did you learn, etc., etc. In will walk the figure that is oh so familiar now to Carlos, the Lancer, Vicente Santolaria. He'll walk in. Desiree, this is a prized customer, comes every day and always seems to leave with something. So as he kind of makes his way in, that is where we'll end our session today and pick up next time. Resolving all that is been come to learn, and what's going to come to pass as we are ramping up for the final 3 or 4 sessions of the campaign. So thank you all. thank you all for playing. Definitely been enjoyable. And let me go ahead and sign on the stream and stuff. I'll be back in just a second. So appreciate you all. Give me just one moment. I'll be right back. All right. Thank you all for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed. That is session 5 down of our Valdiran Nights campaign, as we now are kind of ramping up to the final little bit of this potential mystery information we may learn. But in any case, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a good day or a good evening, depending on where you are in the world. We'll be back tomorrow with a hangout stream more than anything. A little bit of world building, but mostly just kind of hanging out with the community and chatting shit. But in any case, if you'd like to get involved, best place to be is in the Discord, as that is where I reach out. That is where, whenever I recruit for the next cycle of games, I check out in the Discord first. So if you're in the Discord, best place to be. First dibs, essentially. Yeah, so if you'd like to get involved with the community or potentially a player in the future game, best place to be is in the Discord. If not, we'll see you when we see you. So thank you all. Hope you have a good day. Peace out.